This challenge, we want to update all of the output elements and write their index value. So making a selection of all of the elements that are divs with a class of output and updating their inner HTML to say the index and colon and then the index value. So leaving the element with the h1 and the class of output as it was, and just updating the elements with the class of output that are divs. Create the HTML page. Make sure that you do have several different types of tags with the class of output, and then using the JavaScript file, we're going to be selecting the elements that are the divs with the class of output and be making an update to the content that's being output into the HTML page. So going into the JavaScript code, let's make a selection of the elements. So assign it to a variable using the document and then query selector, selecting the elements that have a class of output, and go back into the index.html, and then we'll list out all of the matching elements and show them within the console. So that returns back all 5. So we want to select the elements that are divs. We don't want to select the h1. So in order to make the selection, we can be more specific, just as we would with CSS. So if we were selecting the page elements, we could do the same thing within the CSS. If we want to select the div with a class of output, we could write the statement and the request doing a div.output, and then that returns back only the 3 selected elements. And once we've selected the elements, let's using the for each, we're going to loop through each one of the elements and make an update to the inner HTML of the page element, so including the index value within the loop, so that way we can use the index value and output it into the page. So setting the index, and then this is where we can write the index of the element. So let's make an update, and that's going to return back each one of the elements and leaving the h1 element with a class of output intact.